One person can't change the world, but one person carrying a message can change the world.
At 92, Willie Nelson finally speaks up about John Denver, and the timing feels heavy with meaning. Born Willie Hugh Nelson on April 29, 1933, in Abbott, Texas, Willie's early life was shaped by struggle and grit. Raised by his grandparents during the Great Depression, after his parents split to chase work, young Willie found comfort in music fast.
Low points. When I lost my son, that was a big one, and everything else seems to pale in comparison.
His grandparents loved music too and pushed his talent forward, handing him his very first guitar at just 6 years old. By 7, Willie had already written his first song, and by 9, he was performing in local dance halls and rough honky-tonks with his sister Bobby on piano, a duo that would ride together for life. As he grew older, Willie hustled nonstop, working every job imaginable, from disc jockey gigs and vacuum sales to farming fields and selling Bible books just to survive. Trying to break into the cutthroat country music world, Willie spent the 1950s bouncing between Fort Worth, Portland, and Nashville, always chasing that one big break. His voice didn't fit the clean Nashville mold, and his phrasing sounded different, even risky, but he stayed locked in. Slowly, his songwriting started cracking doors open. Tracks like Crazy, later made legendary by Patsy Cline, along with Nightlife and Funny How Time Slips Away, put his pen on the map and stamped him as a real lyric beast. The 1970s flipped the script completely. Tired of Nashville's tight grip, Willie dipped back to Texas. There, he helped spark the outlaw country movement, ditching polished sounds for raw truth and rebel energy. Albums like Shotgun Willie, 1973, Red-Headed Stranger, 1975, and Stardust, 1978, locked in his legacy as a rule breaker with soul. When Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain blew up, it proved real stories still hit. That image became a symbol of his grit and style, but it was never just about the look, it was always about the man behind it. Willie Nelson stood tall as a free-spirited, kind-hearted rebel who never ducked hard conversations. He wasn't scared to speak up on controversial issues and did it his own way, calm but firm. For decades, Willie has pushed loudly for farmers' rights, marijuana reform, animal welfare, and protecting the environment, standing on principle even when it wasn't popular. In 1985, he co-founded Farm Aid alongside Neil Young and John Mellencamp, launching a benefit concert that still raises millions to support struggling American farmers. That move wasn't about headlines, it was about action. Willie's collaborative energy is legendary, too. Over the years, he linked up with an unbelievable range of artists across genres, from Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, and Johnny Cash to Ray Charles, Dolly Parton, Sheryl Crow, Snoop Dogg, and Norah Jones. His supergroup, the Highwaymen, featuring Jennings, Cash, and Chris Christopherson, became a symbol of brotherhood and musical power. They weren't chasing trends, they were setting standards. Willie's ability to move across genres while staying true to himself proved his reach was universal, not boxed in. Even with heavy setbacks, financial trouble, broken marriages, and long battles with the IRS, Willie never folded. He kept recording, touring, and standing on what he believed in. Well into his 80s and 90s, he kept dropping new music, writing memoirs, and performing live with a work ethic that shocked people half his age. His voice grew weathered but warmer, instantly recognizable, and full of soul. Willie Nelson isn't just a country star. He's a cultural icon, a poet, a storyteller, and a living symbol of resilience, with over 100 albums and a legacy that still shapes music today, hard across generations. Beyond the music, Willie's image became iconic: braided hair, bandana, weathered face, and his ever-present guitar, Trigger, always by his side. That image became a symbol of his grit and style. But it was never just about the look. It was always about the man behind it. Willie Nelson stood tall as a free-spirited, kind-hearted rebel who never ducked hard conversations. He wasn't scared to speak up on controversial issues and did it his own way, calm but firm.
We're all pretty much the same. And what makes me and you laugh or cry, chances are it'll make everyone else laugh or cry.
For decades, Willie has pushed loudly for farmers' rights, marijuana reform, animal welfare, and protecting the environment, standing on principle even when it wasn't popular. In 1985, he co-founded Farm Aid alongside Neil Young and John Mellencamp, launching a benefit concert that still raises millions to support struggling American farmers. That move wasn't about headlines. It was about action. Willie's collaborative energy is legendary, too. Over the years, he linked up with an unbelievable range of artists across genres, from Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, and Johnny Cash, to Ray Charles, Dolly Parton, Sheryl Crow, Snoop Dogg, and Norah Jones. His supergroup, the Highwaymen, featuring Jennings, Cash, and Chris Christopherson, became a symbol of brotherhood and musical power. They weren't chasing trends, they were setting standards. Willie's ability to move across genres while staying true to himself proved his reach was universal, not boxed in. Even with heavy setbacks, financial trouble, broken marriages, and long battles with the IRS, Willie never folded. He kept recording, touring, and standing on what he believed in. Well into his 80s and 90s, he kept dropping new music, writing memoirs, and performing live with a work ethic that shocked people half his age. His voice grew weathered but warmer, instantly recognizable and full of soul. Willie Nelson isn't just a country star. He's a cultural icon, a poet, a storyteller, and a living symbol of resilience, with over 100 albums and a legacy that still shapes music today. Willie Nelson has stacked up every major honor you can name, from Grammy Awards to Kennedy Center honors and his place in the Country Music Hall of Fame. But even bigger than trophies is the respect and love he's earned from fans all over the world. After turning 80, Willie didn't slow down. He did the opposite, proving age doesn't get to call the shots when passion is still burning. His energy, creativity, and deep love for music stayed rock solid, inspiring younger artists who watched him keep moving while others retired. In 2014, just before his 81st birthday, Willie dropped a studio album called Band of Brothers, and it hit harder than anyone expected. This release wasn't just special because of his age. It mattered because it was packed with mostly brand new songs written by Willie himself. The album blended classic country vibes with his sharp lyrics and seasoned storytelling, earning praise for its honesty and lived-in wisdom. Fans and critics locked in right away, calling it a true return to form for the legendary songwriter. Even crazier, Band of Brothers debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top Country Albums chart, proving Willie was still very much in the game. That success made one thing clear. Time hadn't touched his talent or his ability to connect through that unmistakable voice and soulful guitar style. Beyond music, Willie also carved out a real presence in film and television, moving smoothly from recording studios to movie sets without missing a beat. Over the years, he took on a range of film roles that showed off not just his music legacy, but his natural charm and dry wit. One of his most memorable performances came in the 1979 film The Electric Horseman, where he starred alongside Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. His role mixed humor with heart, and he also contributed to the soundtrack, tying his music directly into the story. Later, in the 1996 family film Starlight, Willie won over audiences with a warm, grandfather-style role that highlighted his gentle spirit and wide appeal. His laid-back delivery and sharp timing made him a perfect fit for lighter films too. In The Dukes of Hazzard, 2005, he stepped into the role of Uncle Jesse, bringing familiarity, humor, and heart to a whole new generation. That role let Willie bring his raw Texas charm and trademark wit straight to the big screen, and audiences felt it instantly. He followed that up with a memorable appearance in Blonde Ambition, 2007, a romantic comedy starring Jessica Simpson, where Willie added real Southern flavor and grounded authenticity to the story. He didn't just show up, he elevated the vibe. Willie also proved he could laugh at himself when he popped up in Zoolander 2, 2016. That quick cameo lit up the screen and reminded everyone he was still locked into pop culture, even decades into his career. These moments helped cement Willie Nelson as more than a music legend. He became a cross-generational icon with reach far beyond country music. Staying active in music and film well into his 80s showed his passion never cooled, his spirit never bent, and his creative fire stayed lit. Few legacies can match Willie Nelson's. With a career stretching over 6 decades, his personal life has been just as layered and intense, especially when it comes to love, family, and hard lessons learned. Over the years, Willie has been married 4 times, with each relationship marking a different chapter, shaped by growth, chaos, and change that ran parallel to his musical journey. His first marriage was to Martha Matthews in 1952, and while it lasted 10 years, it was turbulent. Willie later spoke openly about that period, admitting the relationship was strained by his drinking and the instability of his early career. Together, they had 3 children, Lana, Susie, and Willie, Billy Hugh Nelson Jr. Tragically, Billy passed away in 1991, a devastating loss Willie has reflected on with deep pain and honesty over the years. In 1963, Willie married singer Shirley Cauley. Their bond started creatively, as Shirley was a country artist who worked with Willie during the early 1960s. But the marriage unraveled in 1971 after Shirley learned Willie had fathered a child with another woman during their relationship. That revelation ended their union and shifted his life again. That woman, Connie Kopke, became Willie's 3rd wife soon after. They married in 1971 and had 2 daughters together, Paula Carlene Nelson and Amy Lee Nelson. Connie stood by Willie during some of his roughest years, including major industry pressure and long battles with the IRS. Still, despite shared history and family ties, the marriage ended in 1988. Later that same year, Willie married Annie D'Angelo, a makeup artist he met while filming Stagecoach in 1986, alongside Chris Christopherson and Johnny Cash. This chapter would prove different, steadier, and deeply grounding for the road ahead. Annie brought real balance to Willie's once wild world, becoming the steady force that helped ground his life. She encouraged healthier habits and brought calm where chaos once lived. Together they raised 2 sons, Lucas Nelson, who built his own respected music career with Promise of the Real, and Micah Nelson, an artist and musician known for his bold, experimental style. Married for over 3 decades, Annie D'Angelo remains Willie's longest and most stable partner. Their bond is built on loyalty, respect, and real love. Today, they live quietly on Maui, surrounded by family and nature, a peaceful retreat that reflects the calm Willie found later in life. Altogether, Willie has 7 children, and despite loss and hard lessons, he stayed deeply devoted to family, often pulling inspiration straight from those relationships into his music. Now, in his 90s, his life mirrors the layered stories he's always sung. One name fans long wondered about was John Denver. At 92, Willie finally opened up. Though their styles seemed opposite, Denver's clean optimism and Willie's outlaw grit, there was deep mutual respect. Willie admired Denver's sincerity, lyrical honesty, and commitment to the environment. Denver's tragic death in 1997 hit Willie hard, even if he stayed quiet publicly. You could feel the love in his songs, Willie says. He believes Denver's strength was staying true to himself when others tried to mold him. Looking back, Willie says they were country boys at heart, walking different roads, but chasing the same horizon.